Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's class I'll be drafting an underbust corset. Please stick to the end of the video to get the full details, and don't forget to hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. So for today's class we'll be making an underbust corset. So as you can see, I've already outlined my vertical measurements, which is my shoulder to chest line. To get that is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch. My shoulder to bust, my shoulder to underbust. Is very important for you to outline your underbust because it's needed. That's where the corset is going to start. Then my shoulder to navel or waistline, and then my shoulder to my top length. I'm using 24. You can use more or less, but it's advisable to stop around 24 to 26. So after doing that, the next step I'm going to take right now is to mark out my neck width. Although what I'm doing is an off shoulder underbust corset, but I'm going to do the upper part so that you can see in case you also want to add an illusion to yours. So I'm going to mark my shoulder. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2, you have 7. So in case you want to add sleeve to yours, you can just attach half. So the next step is to take this down. So I'm just going to make sure I have this 7 inches here. Then I'm going to extend this line. I'm going to find the middle of this, which is 3.5. Then I'm going to come out by half. From there, I'm going to connect the edge. Then I'm going to blend it out to avoid having a sharp edge. So after doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and outline with my mark so that it will be very visible. So this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and mark the neck depth, neck width and working width, which is 3.5. So the neck depth also, I'm going to just use 3.5 also, and I'm going to connect. Then I'll also use my marker and connect it to outline it very well. So this is what we have. The thing I'm going to do now is to mark my that's intake. So at my bust, I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple divided by 4. So I'm not going to be adding half because I'm going to add half for joining later, and I'm going to mark. So my nipple to nipple is 7, or bust span divided by 2, you have 3.5. I'm going to mark it at my bust point. I'll mark it at my under bust point. Mark it at my navel or waist length, and then go ahead and mark it at my blouse length. I'll also go to the top of my chest line and I will mark it also. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead and place my rule and connect the. So this is actually an underbust corset, and I'm using the easiest method to do this for especially beginners that are having issues with calculation and getting confused. So this is like the easiest method. So let's go back. So after marking this, I'm going to mark my dart leg. So I'm going to mark 1 inch at my navel, and I'm going to mark another 1 inch at my navel. At my underbust, I'm going to mark 1 inch. At my underbust, I'm going to mark 1 inch. So after marking 1 inch at my underbust, so depending on where you want your underbust, since I'm doing an off shoulder, so depending on where you want your off shoulder to start, my off shoulder, I'm going to be using -5. You can make use of -6. So I'm just going to mark that -5 and connect it with a straight line. Then I'm going to extend this my bust band to that point and then connect the line. So at the upper part, I'll be doing a bust tightening. So that means I'm also going to insert a dart there. So I'm going to mark 1 inch. You can use 0.75, but I use 1 inch because my bust is smaller. So after marking this 1 inch, at my bust point, I'm going to go up by half. I'll be telling you the reason why I marked this half later. So after that, the next step I'm going to do is to join my dart lines. So I'm going to connect from my underbust to my waistline. So from my waistline, I'm going to connect it to my blouse or top length, forming a diamond dart. So I'm also going to connect the other one. So from this my underbust, I'm going to be connecting it to my bust. So I'm just going to place my French curve and connect. I'll also be outlining all this later. So this is what I have. Then I'll go ahead. As you can see, I stopped at my bust point. So the reason why I marked this half earlier is to avoid having a sharp edge at my bust point. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to my chest line. From that 5 inch I came in. I came down from. So I'm going to stop where this line stops. Then I also place my French curve and connect. Let me make use of my freehand sketch. Connect. After that, this is what I have. So if I'm creating a yoke, this part will be serving as a yoke. So depending on the neck type or shape of the neck you want, you can just create a neck. So I'll just go in and create a little sweetheart neck. So from here also, I'm just going to connect it to the chest line. I'm going to make use of my freehand sketch, connect it to the chest line. So what I'll do next is that I'm going to blend this to see if my neck meets. is a bit tricky, but you just have to be careful. So I'm just going to make sure this part meets. So it meets. So the next thing I'm going to do is to outline all this that we've done so far so that it will be visible. Then also outline my diamond darts. You can use a rule or a freehand, anyone that you're okay with. So, like I said, this is an underbust corset. So I'm going to be outlining my underbust, because we are going to be cutting it out from the down part of this dress. The next step I'm going to take now is to insert my vertical measurement circumference. So like I said, the next step is to insert my vertical, my circumference, my body circumference. So at my bust point, my bust divided by 4 plus my bust divided by 4, I have 8.3. So I'm not going to be adding any allowance here now, because after cutting the pattern I'm going to add half round it. So just the joining allowance by the side is what I'm going to be adding. So after my bust, I'm going to make sure whatever you're doing is on fold. So after that, I'm going to just mark half for joining allowance. So you can add more allowance to yours. Mine is just, I'm not going to add any allowance because I'm going to be boning the sides too. So at my underbust measurement divided by 4, I have 7 inches. So that intake I removed there, 1 here, 1 here, that's 2. I'm going to go ahead and mark that 2 inches plus half. At my waist, so this is where the snatching is. I'm going to snatch my waist. So most times for beginners, if you start calculating and dividing, it gets very difficult for them. So the only what I'm going to do now is, if my bust is if my waist is 28 and I want to snatch it small, I'll just minus 28 minus that snatching, that how many inches I want to take out for my waist, which is I just want to take out 2 inches. So instead of doing my waist measurement 27 divided by 4, I'm going to do 27 minus that 2 inches, which is 25. Then I will go ahead and divide 25 divided by 4. So sorry, like I said, my waist is 28 minus 2, I have 26. So whatever you want to snatch, you just remove it. That's 26 divided by 4, I have 6.5 plus 1 inch that intake, I have 2 inches, and then I'm going to mark my half. Then at the down parts, my hip, my hip divided by 4, I have 10. So I'm going to mark ½ inch for joining allowance. And then what I have here is slightly, So let's just say 0.3, 0.3, I have 0.6, so that it will accommodate my hip. So after doing that, the next step you're going to do is to connect what you have. So I'm going to go ahead and connect what I have. Remember, like I said, the bust is 28.3 plus half. So no matter the shape you're getting, by the time you join this, you get your shape back. So after connecting this, so I'm just going to readjust this a bit. I also mark my bust 8 divided by 4, 8.3 plus half. Also connect it slightly before connecting back to my underbust. So ignore this. Then I'm going to connect it straight. So the next step I'm going to do now is to outline all these marks. So I'm done outlining it. Like we said, it's an underbust corset. So I'm going to do the cutting right now. So I'm going to do the cutting of the dress, of the pattern right now. Then after, we'll head to the back pattern. So I'm going to cut through my pattern. So in case you're making use of a yoke, this can serve as your yoke. So first I'm going to cut out this part, like the upper part. Like we said, it's an underbust corset. We are going to rejoin it to the down part. So for the down part, you can create more dart intakes. You can decide to create 1, 2, 3, but I'm just keeping it simple so that you will not get confused. Then I'm going to create the down, cut out the down part. Then we'll head. And also, I forgot, at this part you can decide to create a design at this part. So that is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to place my tape and come up by 3 inches or 2.5, whichever one you want. So I'm going to come up by 2.5, and I'm going to place this here and create a design. So that's what I'm going to be cutting out. So I'm also going to make a mark. I'll be telling you why I made that mark later. So this is it. I'm going to also cut out the yoke area. So I've gone ahead and cut out my pieces. This is what we have, and also cut up the upper parts which serve as a yoke. So in case you don't want to make use of a yoke, because what we're making is actually an off shoulder, so this is what you're going to have. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the back pattern of this piece. So for the back, it's going to be easy. I'm not going to be creating any dot line. I'm just going to create a bony channel on it. So as you can see, I marked a straight line. This is my chest line, my bust line, my underbust, my navel, and my blouse length. So what I'm going to do is to place my bust circumference. So at my bust line, I'm going to place my bust circumference, which is 8.3, and I'm going to add half for joining. I told you I'm going to be using boning at this side. So at the underbust, I have 7 plus half. At my navel, I'm not going to snatch my navel for this, but I'm just going to remove 2 inches. As you can see, I didn't add zipper allowance. So I'm going to place 7, my underbust divided by 4, 7 plus half for joining. I'll just create a bone channel on top. At my top or blouse length, I'm going to mark my hip plus half. So after doing this, the next step I'm going to do is to go ahead and connect what I have. So to connect what I have, then also at my chest length, I'm going to place my bust circumference 8.3 plus half. So if you noticed, I went up a bit following the armhole of the front. So I'm just going to measure what I have here. So it's half. So I'm going to place it. So from there, I'm just going to draw a faint line, connect it to my underbust, head to my chest, my navel, and then connect it to my hip point. So I will now use and outline it so that you can see what I have. So I'm connecting it at those faint line I drew. So at this place, I'm just going to mark that ½ inch up. Then I'm just going to connect it. So you noticed at the front part was 24 and I went up by 2.5. This mark I made here. So I'm still going to follow that mark, 2.5. I'm going to make my back shorter. It's more comfortable for the back to be shorter. You can use 2.5 or 3. So I'm just going to connect. It's better the back be shorter to give you that comfortability when you're sitting down. I don't know, you can also decide to create designs for your back. So after that, I'm just going to go ahead and mark 2 inches. The reason why I'm marking these 2 inches is to remove, as you can notice, we didn't mark any zipper allowance, so that to create that tightening for the back. And also, if you want your back to be very fitted or have gaping at the back, you can take out 1.5 or 2 or more, depending what you want to create. So I'm just going to mark, I think 2 is much. I'll just take out 1.5 at the back. I don't want it to have much space at the back because I snatched the front part of the dress. So after doing that, I'm just going to place and draw a straight line. So after that, I'm just going to cut out what I have for the back. And with this, we have come to the end of the video. So if you find this video very interesting and educative, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up And don't forget also to hit on the subscribe button, and also share or drop your comments at the comment section, or any other video you would like me to share. Any other video you would like for me to share on my channel. And I hope you find this video very understanding and not confusing at all. Thank you. So this is my back pattern. I'm just going to create channels or create design, and I'm going to put the. So I'm also going to place the front so that you can see how both the front and the back pattern look like. So this is the front like earlier. So this is the yoke. I didn't bother creating a yoke for the back, because what we are creating is an off shoulder. I just showed you how it will be with the yoke. So this is the back pattern. This is the center. So if you're going to sew, as you can see, this part and this part is outlining. So with our next video, we are going to place this pattern on a fabric and sew.